Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just welcome to my channel if you are new. In this speedpaint, I'm going to be drawing some fan art of a manga I have been reading. So yeah, before I get into that, I'm going to say that I'm probably pronouncing everything absolutely wrong and butchering the pronunciation. So if you're a fan, I'm sorry that I'm probably going to make you cringe or wince. But anyway, yeah, so the manga I'm drawing fan art from is called, okay, let's see if we can do this. Soukyuu no Ariadne. I'm sorry, I butchered that. It's also could be called Ariadne in the Blue Sky, though I don't know if the Ariadne is supposed to be Ariadne or just Ariadne. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen so you can read it yourself, because I butchered the pronunciation. But anyway, yeah. That said, a quick little overview about what it's about. I'm going to try not to do any spoilers, so yeah, this will be really quick, but it's about a boy. He's named Last Seal, or something like that, and he's what is called a photon carrier in that world. He was part of a war, but after the war, the photon carriers were all supposed to be eliminated because they're considered too dangerous. He ended up being saved though, so he kind of lives in isolation with this the dude that saved him, he calls him Gramps, but anyhow. But he still wants to see the world, especially the floating cities that are rumored to exist. One day he ends up running across this girl while he's checking the traps in the forest and stuff, and she's actually a princess from one of these floating cities, and she is going to be married off to a neighboring kingdom or whatever. And while she's not against that, she just knows it's her royal duty and everything to do this. She wanted to see the world first, so she ran away so she could see the world and all the different races that live in it. And so they both end up taking off on an adventure to go see the world and find the founding light or whatever, and they end up running to some of Last Seal's old friends and also making some new ones. And that is basically what it's about. And I mean, there's a lot more details and stuff that tie together, but that's all spoilers, so I won't go into that. But anyhow, that's the basic synopsis from what I can, as good as I can explain it. So, the character I'm drawing here is one of the new friends that the two made along the way, and his name is Popol, and he is a Gisao, I think that's how you say it, which is basically a rat person, so they have, like, you know, the bunny ears and fur and little claws, and they have rabbit feet too, but honestly the legs kind of feel more like a gazelle to me, just with paws instead of hooves, but yeah, so basically a rabbit person. And Popol here though is not an ordinary gazelle. He's what is called an almirage, and you can tell that by the horn in the middle of his head. There's 4 of these almirage. I guess there was like some prophetic thing that they were part of, and basically there's 4 of them, and they're all born at the same time, and they all lust after something. So one of them, the almirage, lusts after love, one lusts after like power, like being the strongest person alive, I guess, and another lusts after like power too, but I think it's like more like control, like world domination. I don't know, or was it destruction? I don't know. I forgot, but the 4th one lusts after knowledge, so that's basically it. And Popol here is the almirage that lusts after knowledge, so basically he will stop at nothing to learn things. So if there's a book he wants to read and learn from, or some other thing he must go see and learn from, he's going to stop at nothing until he gets that information in his brain. So that's basically it. And another thing about the almirage is that they have the ability to use lunar photon energy, which is like the photon carriers. They pretty much kind of use photon energy in that way, but instead of recharging their power by like eating and resting like the photon carriers, the almirage would get their recharge from the moon, I believe, if I remember correctly. So that's why it's called lunar photon energy. So yeah, hopefully that wasn't too much spoiler. I think you pretty much learn all that pretty shortly after Popol here shows up in the manga. But yeah, when he first shows up, he's traveling with his professor, Gisao, and he was chasing, or they were both chasing after this other almirage that stole Popol's manuscript he wanted to read. He had like an ancient manuscript, I guess, and he wanted it back because he wanted to learn from it. And Yeah, so that's when they're chasing after that other Gasol or Almirage, and that's when they run into Lasil and his gang. And so, yeah, when Popol first showed up, I was just like, oh, this character's kind of cute. I kind of like him. It's a pity that the main characters or main group's probably just gonna help him and the Professor Dude with their little predicament and then just move on. I'll probably never see this character again. Pity. I was kind of a little bit bummed, but hey, lo and behold, Popol ends up joining Lasil and his group, so I was happy. He continues to travel with them to find out more about the Founding Light or something like that. Anyway, also when he first showed up, he had glasses, but he ends up getting in a fight later and loses the glasses, like they break, and he never replaced them. So I don't know if he really ever needed them. I'm kind of confused. If it was just like a disguise thing, or if he actually needed them, or what, because I don't know. Also, when Popol and the Professor first showed up, their faces were a lot more like rabbit-like, so like the nose and mouth were more like bunny-like, and their eyes are big and dark and like shiny, I guess, kind of like, you know, like puppy dog eyes, or how animals' eyes are. And over time I realized Popol's facial features kind of became a little more human, so like his nose and eyes were drawn a little bit more like the other human characters. Just ignore the neighbor's chicken, okay? You can probably hear him crowing. But anyhow, so yeah, I noticed Popol's features became a little more human. His nose and eyes are drawn more like the human characters, but I just assumed that this was the author just decided to change how his Gasol looked later down the line, which, I mean, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's every right to do that. It's just, it's a little detail I noticed, and I probably only noticed it because I decided to draw Popol, and I was like, here he looks a little more, like, his face looks more bunny-like when he first shows up, but then later he looks a little more human, so I'm like, what should I do when I draw him? I think I ended up doing the more human, but I try to keep his eyes still big and dark, because I like that, but, I mean, his eyes still are dark and shiny, but they just draw a little bit more like the human-like. But anyway, yeah, it's just a little detail I happened to notice. Like I said, I probably noticed it because I started to draw the character, but anyway, yeah. So, for these drawings, I want to draw, like, some fan art, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do cute or cool, but, like, I tried to figured, like, why not both? So I drew one that was supposed to be more cute, and this one here that was supposed to be more cool. I don't know if it's really that cool. I don't usually... I'm always drawing cute things, I don't know. I feel like I'm not that great at doing super action-y cool stuff, but anyhow. The first one that you saw earlier was just a quick portrait I did, and I decided to keep his glasses, because, I don't know, I felt like it added a little more cute factor, and I just made up the outfit on a whim. And the second one here, the outfit was also kind of just made up, but I was kind of basing it off of the last outfit I saw him in. And for the colors, like, the manga's in black and white, so I really didn't know what to do with the colors, so I was kind of just winging it. There's only like 2 cover pictures or images that were actually like in color that had Popol on them on the cover. And a lot of times though, it was done in this very washed out style, so like coloring style, and I couldn't really tell what colors they were. All I couldn't really tell was that he had a light colored fur and brown hair, like fairly dark brown hair, I guess. And like the outfit colors, I don't know, man. And later I kind of feel like the jacket was actually white. I don't know. Like the colors are just, I just threw whatever I thought on there, what like the colors I imagined on him. Aside from his like fur and hair color, I pretty much just, the outfit, I just made up the colors of what I kind of imagined on him. But yeah, and for the eyes too, all I knew is that they were dark. I ended up asking my brother, what color should I do? Should I do like a really dark brown, or should I do like a dark blue? And he said, do brown. So I went with brown, and I was actually really happy with how the brown looked. But yeah, so all that to say that's pretty much it. The second one too did kind of take a slightly different turn when I was shading it and lighting it, and I ended up giving this background, which was kind of inspired by a certain scene in the manga, but the background ended up having like a totally different mood than the lighting and shading I did on the character. So I kind of tried to fix it a bit, but since this was a doodle, I didn't really go like trying to fix it perfectly, but yeah, so like the lighting is kind of like coming from the wrong direction or something. I don't know. I tried, okay. It kind of taking a totally different route than intended. It was a little less simple than intended, I guess. Anyway, yeah, that's really all I have to say about the artworks themselves. And yeah, so you can let me know down in the comments if you've read this manga or ever heard of it or whatever, because I certainly never heard of it before, and I just stumbled across it on this like one manga site, and honestly the only reason why I even decided to pick it up and read it was the cover image they had for the manga made me think of this book that I really love called The Last Book in the Universe. I read that thing like twice or thrice, I don't know, but I loved it so much, and it's like a really sci-fi post-apocalyptic kind of book or story, and I don't know, the setting and the environment, it was just so cool and unique. I don't know, I just really got into, like, I don't want to say like it was very immersive, but I just got really into imagining that world, and I just love the story, okay? And for some reason the picture they had of this manga, of the cover of this manga on the site, with Lasteel and the princess standing next to each other, it kind of made me think of how I imagined some of the characters in the Last Book in the Universe. And so, you know, I figured I liked that book. I wonder if it's anything like it, so I ended up picking up this manga and reading it, and of course it's nothing like the Last Book in the Universe. The stories are totally different, the worlds are pretty much completely different, but hey, I enjoyed it ultimately, and yeah, I don't regret picking it up. And I got really into it, I tell you. I couldn't put it down for a good minute. And, well, hey, I want to draw fan art, so here we have it. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this speed paint. Remember, if you did enjoy this video, that give it a like. But before I leave, I want to say that I do have a Zazzle Store if you want to go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Basically, I just put a lot of my original artwork onto some of the various items that Zazzle has to offer, and so yeah, if you want to go check that out, I will put the link to my shop in the description. But anyway, that's all for now, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!